Good morning and welcome to Today in the News here on Vanguard Live. My name is Ololade Adeomi. A look into the newspapers for today, starting with Vanguard. Major headline on Vanguard says non-oil exports. Local investors lose out of 4.8 trillion naira boom. Foreign rivals welding cheap capital, sidestepping export rules, outmuzzle local operators. Stakeholders decry funding crisis, port bottlenecks. Analysts demand shifts to value addition. NEPC reacts. Turbana says 100 billion naira loan sparks war of words between Alia Autumn in Benue. Zenith Bank declares 51.3 billion naira interim dividend payout. You can't fight drugs by freeing traffickers. ADC slams Tinubu. Renowned activist Abiodun Aremu killed by hit-and-run driver. State regulators ask NAS to alter central gaming bill. ASUU shuns a federal government insists on strike over unresolved demands. How ASUU strike averted talks on 2009 agreement, says federal government vows to enforce no work, no pay policy. US genocide debate sparked by federal government failures. Olawepo Ashimi says prostate. Lagos hospital performs first Eurolift surgery in Nigeria. Away from the Vanguard, straight into the Punch newspaper. Major headline on the Punch says ASUU rejects federal government proposal, begins 2-week strike today. Union snubs government peace talk over unpaid arrears. Others insist on industrial action. Federal government says no work, no pay. NANS commence move to resolve lingering crisis. Turbana, Fubara retains 8 commissioners, prepares fresh nominees list. 2027, no pact with Jonathan, says Obi. Edun recovering, no plans for replacement, says presidency. Lower banner, Tinubu under fire over presidential pardon for drug offenders. More Kwara abductees rescued as military sustains pressure on bandits. And lastly, killings. Adeleke denies hiding Amoteco commander blast APC. Away from the Punch, straight into the Nation newspaper. Major headline on the Nation says federal government to ASUU strike may trigger no work, no pay rule. Top banner, Finance Minister Edu didn't suffer a stroke, says presidency. Why Tinubu should be in office till 2031 by Umahi. Businessman excretes 127 cocaine wraps. Dangote Cement begins operation in Cote d'Ivoire with 3.0 MT. Away from the Nation, straight into the Guardian newspaper. Major headline on the Guardian says criticism, outrage, suspicion, trial, presidential pardon of 175. Tobana says prioritize ending impunity for electoral offences. Sarab tells new INEC chair. ASUU to federal government talks end in statemate as Konwa breaks ranks. Security concerns. Tinubu, NSA, NIA boss join meeting in Rome. Federal government revokes Maraba Kefi Road contract over negligence, faulty designs. And lastly, presidency, Sultan others commit to friendly girl child policies. That's all we have on the front page this morning. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Today in the News here on Vanguard Live. My name is Ololade Adeomi. With me in the studio today for a quick analysis is Mr. Aliu Mohammed, CEO Magnet Communication Limited. Good morning, sir. Fine, thank you. How was your weekend?
It was good. Fine. Thank God.
I look into our first topic for today. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, has declared a 2-week warning strike starting today, October 13th, 2025. The union says this strike is necessary because the federal government failed to meet a 14-day ultimatum over unresolved demands. The federal government, on its part, has invoked a no work, no pay policy against striking lecturers and insists that many demands have been addressed. What will you say, is the fundamental reason why we keep having this issue of ASUU strike between the federal government and ASUU? Let's start with that.
You are talking about ASUU strike. You are looking at it from just an angle. I think I read something about the NLC too, giving the government an ultimatum. the truth of the matter is that as much as possible, the government must always attend to the demands of these unions. If I am the president and I have a minister of labor to whom a demand or a request from these unions have been sent, I will call that Minister of Labor, knowing fully well the implications of not attending to their demands. I will call him and sit with him, tell him what to do. Because you see, most of the ministers we have these days, apologies, or some of them don't know what to do when you have a crisis on your hand. When they have crisis on their hands, they don't know what to do, except they have a consultant that will come back and tell them, they've sent in a request. You have to meet this request within a specified time. A lot of them don't know. We have ministers who are getting to that office for the first time in their lives. They've never worked in a government agency. They've always worked in their private organizations. And the attitude with which they worked in their private organization, they carry it to the public institutions. And that is why we have all these problems. I don't see any reason why a union will send requests to the government and no tangible response will come out of that. It's like spoiling for war. It's like calling for war. So I am indeed very disappointed that we are at the stage that we are now. The unions are calling for war, and it is also counterproductive for the image of the government. I'm a reputation expert, and I know what I'm talking about. If there is a strike today, and the international community start reading about it, we have become the topic of discussion internationally. Did you read the comments of the Russian president about Nigeria? It is not a good one. Like, you will never visit Nigeria for any reason. These are part of the things that are staining the reputation of this country. The earlier we look at the multiple and multifaceted effects of some of these actions that we take for granted on the image and reputation of the country, there will be the need for us to always address little issues like union matters before it gets to a level of strike. If there is a strike today, the entire country will be crippled. How will the president feel? How will the governors feel? It's like a sign of failure as far as I'm concerned. I won't have an office and my staff will want something and I won't call them, sit down, talk to them. Sorry, I can't do it now. I will do it next month. What is difficult in that? I don't know. We have enough funds in this country to meet all our needs, but unfortunately, those funds are being channeled to private pockets. You saw the trial of this lady that stole, was it 60 billion or 50 billion? Or one lady in one of the federal government agencies. Where was the Ministry of Finance? How did a single person, a single lady who was in charge of pensions, how did they have access to such billions? That means there is nothing like system and control in the government services. I read a statement over the weekend and I laughed that ministries must not have access to their funds again. All funds must be directed to the federation account. That's a late order because a lot of funds has already gone into private pockets. It's like people will just get there, take whatever they want to take. There is no control. There is nothing like system and control in the management of the finances of this country. That's what I have observed, and it is unfortunate.
Let's take a look at the renegotiation of the federal government ASUU 2009 agreement. It's 15 years after. What exactly would you say have made them not be able to, implement this particular demands? It's 15 years already. Why has it taken so long?
See, it has taken too long because the government lack the will to do what they should do for ASUU. And we also have some of their leaders who are there. When you meet with government, they take you to the back, give you something, and you relax until there is a new executive. And that executive comes with a lot of energy. They will go out, put pressure on government. Government will call them to negotiation, and at the end of the day, they will say, no, 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 we are backing out. They are not backing out for nothing. They are not backing out. I won't say everything. But the truth of the matter is that until we take issues affecting us very seriously, we can't move forward from this kind of situations in this country. But a lot of people will come, see, it is my tenure. I want to see what I can make for myself. That is what is killing this country. At the federal level, at the state level, at the local government level. That is what is killing this country. But I think, and I pray too, that we will rise above all these horrible considerations in our policy decisions. Otherwise, this country cannot make progress. That is the truth of the matter.
How realistic will you say all of ASU's demands is? Which one of their demands will you say is the most justified?
I don't have access to the facts concerning their demands, but you see, the aspect that I see is the one that affects the welfare of workers. I don't know of any other one. That one, it's very important. You must take care of your workers, even at the private level. There is no month that ends without, by the grace of God, without us paying staff salary. There are times that I will have to set aside my personal needs to ensure that the staff go home with their salary at the end of the month. We must have that attitude in this country. Once the month ends, give an average staff what he should take home, because that man has a family at home. That woman has a family at home. They have old fathers and mothers. They have wives, they have children, just like any other person in government. So when you start reneging in the payment of what you should give to your staff, you are calling for a trouble, a big trouble. You are calling for it. At the government level, at the private level, at whatever level, you must prioritize the interest and welfare of your staff. Without that, we'll continue to have this kind of crisis situations on our hands.
Would you say the threat from the federal government about the no work, no pay policy is the right way to go about this?
It is not. It is not. Like I said, they should call these people who want to go on strike, sit down, talk to them. If you don't have the money to pay now, agree that, well, for whatever reason, we can't pay now, and give them a date. They are not solving any problem. Do you know, once again, as a reputation management expert, do you know the effect of any strike on the image and reputation of this country? We are too big a country to witness this kind of dirty things that stain the image and reputation of the company. People going on strike, you now send mobile police after them when they are protesting. There is one that is coming up in Abuja on October 20 now. The civil society members are planning a protest in support of the release of Kanu in Abuja. They are mobilizing. Nobody is doing anything in government to even talk to them. But you'll be surprised that on the day of this protest, government will mobilize mobile policemen, bring out DSS, arrest Showore, arrest everybody. Are you solving the problem? You are not. You are not. Call these people, talk to them. If I am the president, I will call them. Why I won't release Kalu now, or what is it, Kalu or Kanu, whatever his name is, I will tell them why I can't free him now. And move on to talk to them on the need to maintain peace. But government is not even responding. Why must we allow every situation to get to a crisis level before we start talking? A nation with a very high reputation like Nigeria does not deserve this kind of system of administration, as far as I'm concerned. We must be able to manage that. Every home, every organization, every institution have a crisis abroad. They have a way of managing them that it won't come out as an embarrassment to government. It will not come out as something that will dent the image and reputation of the government of that country or of the government of a state in that country. So we must be careful to manage our crisis very effectively in a way that the image and reputation of Nigeria will not be dented.
Away from that, into our second story. President Bola Tinubu, under the prerogative of mercy powers in Section 175 of the 1999 Constitution, recently granted the presidential pardon to 175 individuals, including drug traffickers, illegal miners, kidnappers, murderers, coup plotters, and political offenders. Among the pardoned, we have 41 illegal miners, 28 drug traffickers, 22 murderers, and even high-profile names, including Mariam Sanda. Do you support the president's, decision to, pardon these 175 individuals?
Well, I don't work in the presidency, so I won't know the reasons and or the reasoning behind that action.
According to them, age and then reports that some of these people have changed while they were in prison.
Including the 70 drug pushers. Do you think
they were of good behavior while in prison?
While in prison, an average prisoner will behave because he wouldn't want to get killed. He wouldn't want to die in prison. So, you see, I have seen an armed robber that was pardoned. Within the week that he got pardoned, he went back into robbery. Because he was behaving well in prison, he was pardoned. As soon as he got out, he went back into armed robbery. I think we should be careful the way we free and grant clemency to criminals in this country. We have a security apparatus that is not competently fighting crime in this country. And you are now releasing those who have been sentenced to death, those who have been sentenced to life jails. You are now releasing them to come and complicate the already bad security architecture of this country. It is unfortunate because, you see, I am not questioning the powers of the president to grant clemency to anybody, but you must look at the consequences of such an action on the society. The president is fully protected 24 hours and you are releasing criminals into the society on the grounds that they have repented. Was he living in the prison with them? Was anybody living in the prison with them to have known that they have so much repented and they will not come back to become criminals? We have seen situations that convicted robbers will serve their full jail terms, come out and go back into robbery. So we have to be careful in exercising all these powers. I pray that all those that have been released will behave well, but it is risky to release daredevil criminals back into a society where the police, the DSS, and all the security agencies are finding it difficult to control crime or crimes, even before the release of this set of convicted criminals. You are going to complicate matters for those who are in charge of the implementation of security matters. It will come. I am not an expert in that area, but from my own personal point of view, we have to be very, very careful in releasing people that have been jailed for life, especially drug pushers. NDLA, without them, NDLA is fighting tooth and nail to sanitize this environment. We've seen a lot of people carrying drugs in their stomachs, in their anus, in different parts of their body, even in television normal television that you see that people come from abroad with, they put drugs inside those electronics. So we have to be careful in the way we release daredevil criminals back into the society.
Would you say that this particular pardon is encouraging impunity?
Absolutely. That is what we are going to have. Because an average criminal now will go and kill, and on the belief that once he is jailed, in another 5 years, somebody will come and free him. There will be so much impunity in this country with the way things are going. That's my fear. See, all these things that I am saying, I'm talking in my personal capacity now. They threaten, they are going to really become a big threat to the security of this country. We will start seeing the implications in a few months' time. I'm not going to criticize the government, the president. He has the power to do what he has done, but the consequences will start showing in few months. You will come back and ask me a question on that again.
So let's look at this. Would you say, should there be a moral limit to what kind of crime can be pardoned?
I think so. I think so. All those crimes that are not too deep. There are people that were jailed innocently. You won't tell me that we don't have poor men who are not related to nobody in this country in jail there. There are so many of them unlawfully jailed, innocently jailed. But you are releasing daredevil criminals, drug pushers that were jailed. What message are you sending back to the judiciary that sent them to jail? An average judge will rather take money instead of sending somebody to jail, knowing fully well that in another 5, 10 years they will release that criminal. I'm not encouraging bribery, but it is possible that if a criminal is offering a judge money, take 10 million, you will use kinds of release powers, but those powers should be exercised with a lot of caution so that the society won't come back to have a backlash from such decisions.
Would you say that the pardon process should be more transparent, or is there anything the presidency should have done better?
They should consult with the people. There must be an opinion poll. Release the list and let Nigerians tell you whether those people will be worth whatever clemency